Hello everyone, Jose here from Rivian Tracker here at also in Palo Alto, where I will be riding a bike. That's right. Also, which is the a subsidiary company that Rivian is involved with as well, is making these really cool micro-mobility products. They have the TMB, which is the bicycle, and the TMQ, which is a quad bike. Also was very kind to invite me out here, and we're gonna walk around. I'm gonna show you a quick tour. We're gonna talk to Ben, who is one of the amazing people here at Also, who is gonna walk us through a bunch of different facts and fun information about the company and the products. I'm gonna take you for a ride, and then I'll give you my final thoughts afterwards. So stay tuned and enjoy this video right here on Rivian Tracker. Hey everyone, Jose here from Rivian Tracker. We're here at Also, these really cool bikes that Rivian has a partnership in building. And I'm here with Ben. Ben, how are you?
I'm great.
Ben, do you mind giving a little intro on who you are and what you do for Also?
No problem. I am Ben Steele. I am the Chief Commercial Officer here at Also, and my team's responsible for helping get this incredible product to all the folks who are excited to ride it.
Awesome, Ben. Well, I know you were going to give us a little bit of information on the bike. Do you mind sharing? I'm a really big fan of the bikes already. I've been, watching since day one and like covering all the news about ever. But I'm sure some people may not be very familiar with the brand and what you guys have built out here. So you mind sharing a little bit on the bike?
Absolutely. So I'll kind of go way back and start at the beginning.
Okay.
And then we can get into some technical details. And
Perfect.
Then we'll do the fun part and get out on the bike.
Let's do it.
But this really started with a conversation between RJ from Rivian and Chris Yu about 4 years ago. And that conversation essentially started with the idea that that incredible experience that you have in a Rivian doesn't exist in any EV smaller than a car.
Right.
Electric bikes are really popular, but the user experience, the integration, the benefits are pretty compressed compared to what innovation you find in something like a Rivian.
Yep.
So they set out to build something completely unique, and we'll go through the details of what make it completely unique, but this is our first flagship product. This is the TMB. This is our launch edition, and right now it's got the bench seat on. One of the major things we'll show you is how you change these top frames out.
Accessories is something you guys are focusing on, if I'm understanding right.
Totally. And maybe the point I'd make is, when you're buying an e-bike, typically the first decision you make, and it's a multi-$1,000 decision, is what type of bike do I want?
Right.
Do I want to have a commuter bike? Do I want to have a bench-style cruiser? Do I want a cargo carrier? Well, the problem is once you make that decision, you're locked in on it. So if you want that cargo carrier, it's awesome for the things that you want to do, but if you want to do something else, it's limited, right? And honestly, a lot of people end up with either a bike they don't love and don't use all the time, or, and this is a big problem with our team because we're all bike people, you end up with like 10 bikes.
Right, multiple bikes, which can get pricey too.
Can get pricey really fast. So really the experience started with what are some of the unmet needs, and this modularity piece is really that big first unmet need. And we can move into the lab and I can kind of demonstrate and show you what that looks like.
Love to.
Okay, start at the very beginning.
All right, Ben, talk to us. No, we're fine. So we're here now in the lab. Lab, right? Is this a lab? Yeah, lab. We got lots of different vehicles. We have Kyle over here from Out of Spec being loud. But we have Ben here, and Ben, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about accessories and all that fun stuff you got.
Yeah, so these that you see here are our top frames, right? And we talked in there about, boy, I don't want to be locked into a single use case. I want to have a lot of utility. This is a wonderful way to show it to you, right? So this is as simple as swap seats, little actuator powers up, this thing comes right off.
Stop it. That's so easy.
These are all serialized, so if you each have your own seat, when your seat's on it, it knows it's you. The bike's going to be set to all your preferences.
Oh,
it
wow.
knows it's you and your preferences. And the other major thing that offers is the single bike with different top frames can serve anybody from 4'11" up to 6'8". That is another way that you think about, I'm not electing a single bike. Most bikes have a very limited size range. My wife, I'm 6'5", my wife is 5'6". Right. We're not riding the same bike.
Correct. Same here.
The ability to do this is pretty unique. Now, you've seen these, but just to see how easy it is to put it in.
I love that. And I love the color. Ashley, you love the color?
A lot of customization comes with the color.
I love it.
What's great about this is you put this in about 3 seconds, it's locked in. Right? And
that's incredible.
Completely stable. can carry all the weight.
And no one's stealing it.
No one's stealing it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Power runs through it, so all the lighting.
Oh, wow.
You can see the turn signals.
That's cool.
As well. Even having a bike with a turn signal is in and of itself.
Yeah, typically that's like a third-party accessory, right, that you'd have to buy.
Well, and to your point, one of the major benefits here is we're not working with a bunch of tier 1, tier 2 suppliers,
right.
third-party stuff. Almost every single thing here, other than some of the consumables like brake pads and tires, developed in-house.
In-house.
So that also means when you think about new features, new functions, over-the-air updates,
right.
we can constantly roll that out, and it's not taking us months to negotiate that. It's our engineers saying, I have an idea. I'm going to rev on it for a day or two, and we roll it out to folks.
Do you guys plan on, I imagine, you have a couple of accessories now, especially with seats. I imagine that you guys are planning a lot of accessories for these bikes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of them are the ones
right over there, which I'll walk you guys through here in a minute.
Don't exist in the marketplace today.
Sure.
But I'll show you some of the unique things that we can up with as well. So you've got standard kind of commuter, single-seater. You've got a cargo carrier.
Yep.
Payload for a rider, I think it's about 275 pounds, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Combined, I think this has about a 75-pound payload. The combined payload mass is a little bit under those two numbers, but pretty heavy-duty ability to carry things. You've got suspension on the front and on the back. Part of what you're going to experience on this bike when you're going at pace is because of the low center of mass, where the battery and the drive unit sits, and the suspension, incredibly smooth. So the ability to feel confident at speed and carve, you talk about riding on the street, riding on a sidewalk, as you mentioned.
Right.
Well, it's supposed to ride in the street. So some of the reasons that people are hesitant is they don't feel confident.
Right, they're scared. Yeah.
This thing you're going to feel a different confidence at, and you're
and you've got an additional seat over here.
We do.
Talk to me a little bit of the difference. Like, why would I pick that one versus this one? As a non-bike person.
Okay, so this is an incredibly popular style of riding, and for some people, it's like, I don't think of myself as a cyclist, right? Not going to kit myself on Lycra. I don't want to self-identify. I kind of want to have like my feet on the ground. I kind of want to be relaxed. This more bench-style cruiser, you see in a lot of cities, you see in a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of suburbs. You see with a lot of kids. For a lot of kids, this is their first car in some ways, right? So it's honestly just different use cases for different ride styles.
And that's still for one person?
Still for one person. Okay. Still for one person. That's
I know some people had asked me online, like, oh, can I put 2 people there? I'm like, I don't think so.
People are going to do what people are going to do.
Of course. Be safe, guys.
Exactly.
Wear a helmet and don't be dumb.
So let me show you something else that's pretty cool here, right? So the battery, which you... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So this isn't final UI. So as you film this, I mean, obviously cool to check it all out. But
I have a question on the software.
Yeah, please.
Rivian helps?
So early on before the rollout, there is some co-development. Most of this software, though, has been developed solely
Awesome.
Okay. So
I'm a big software guy, so I want to know that.
I may connect you with Jonathan in a minute to go deep on software.
Beautiful. Love it.
Common tree, which things branched off of.
I love it.
But one of the things that's important about the software, and I'll take the battery out and demonstrate this. So we'll go deep into the battery, but you take the battery out, you've got 240 watt bidirectional charging. So the ability to charge this out of the wall at high speed and high capacity is a pretty big deal. But the ability to also take this to your desk and charge your phone, charge your computer, at that camp environment, charge the stuff that's around you. So,
and you got a little indicator of battery on there as well.
Ink indicator, so extraordinarily low draw.
What's the battery capacity?
Battery capacity we talk about in a couple different ways. So our performance pack is 800 watt hours.
Okay.
Our base is 500 watt hours.
Okay.
But the range is what people really care about.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So our performance pack, about 100-mile range. Now, obviously, that varies based on the sys level and other things. Our base is about 60 miles.
Which is plenty. Plenty.
I think, again, the other thing is I can charge this in my garage. I can charge it.
By the way, I love that you guys went USB-C.
Yeah.
Like, that's the right way to go.
Well, that's
not some proprietary
thing. If you think about
thing.
a standard e-bike, you've got an extruded plastic case.
Yeah.
You've got a limited use case in that it can't do anything else other than power your bike. And it's got a real proprietary charge.
Correct.
The reason I mentioned this relative to software is you might want to come film this. Like, when I plug this in from cold, watch how quickly this boots up.
Slide to unlock. Yep, ready to go. A very familiar iPhone original, thought process.
But this is what I'm used to with the
How
Rivian,
fast.
right? Like it's ready to go.
Right.
It's not. I'm pressing kind of a kludgy touch thing. I'm waiting for the bike to
Right.
ramp up. I'm not really sure what's happening.
No, it's instant,
If you get into
instantaneous.
this, though, I'll also start to talk to you about. I'm going to show you the controls, right?
Okay.
So if I get this thing in a ride mode, I squeeze both brakes, and now suddenly I've got access to everything I want, right? So this is our throttle toggle, right? Our assist toggle.
Okay.
So you see that this goes all the way up to 10, and that's, you know, not just to make it seem like a big cool number. The average e-bike has an assist that goes up to about 5, but what that represents is about a 4 times multiplication of what you put in.
Okay.
So if I'm pedaling a certain number of watts in, multiply it by 4. This literally multiplies it by 10.
Wow.
So we have 180 Newton meters at the wheel.
Okay.
That torque is massive. That torque is fundamentally different than what you're going to find.
How does that yeah, I was gonna say, how does that compare to other like similar price bracket bikes?
So this is it's a hard thing to answer because like the way we do it is so fundamentally different.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it in a minute. But if you think about a high performance e-bike would have like 90 Newton meters at the motor.
Okay. You lose and you lose.
And you lose, right? So if you think about a 1-to-1 gear ratio, kind of the maximum you can see in a rear wheel was about 90.
Okay.
We're 180.
Wow.
And what that means is you can be going up literally at 30% grade with effectively no effort. So
That's crazy.
if you think about having in San Francisco a fully loaded bike, you've got your kid on the back, you're going up and grade at 30%, you're not really feeling it. That's means you're going to again replace some of those car trips with that use case. You've got the throttle here as well. Now, throttle isn't allowed in every city or state.
Really?
In the ones that it is, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
In the ones that it is, it takes you up to 20 miles an hour.
Okay.
Then this is a Class 3 e-bike, which means with pedal assist, you can go up to 28 miles an hour with pedal assist. You then can go faster than that with your input.
Got it.
And we'll feel that when we...
Sure.
You can see it's in all-purpose mode right now. All-purpose mode.
Love the UI. The graphics are cute.
Yeah, thanks. There's sport mode, which has a little more power to it. But one of the things that our drive unit allows you to do, and we'll get deep into this, is you can do a manual mode.
Okay.
So what that would basically mean is instead of using just an assist level, I'm literally like fixed gear ratios.
Okay.
If I'm on a trail and I really confidently want to know what's happening between my input and the pedal and the wheel's output, that trail mode really matters. I'm about to go over a rock. I want to have a 1-to-1 relationship with it. What I would say is these are the early modes.
Yeah.
Because this is all software defined, and I'll go deep into that in 1 second.
It can all change.
It's all going to change.
Yeah, you
and
can add more.
Say, okay, I'm in manual mode, and instead of having 10 fixed gear ratios, I want to have 20, or I want to have 5, or I want to have like that's all highly customizable.
Right.
And that's a fundamentally different experience than we have today. Now, the star of the show is really Dream Ride, and this is the other really big innovation that is just fundamentally different than a standard e-bike. The pedaling experience, the drive unit, it's all software defined. So there's no mechanical connection between my pedal input and what happens at the wheel.
Oh, wow.
I'm pedaling a motor, a generator,
Yep.
which sends a signal via a board to this other motor, which then powers the wheel. So again, I can create whatever experience I want. It's highly customizable, highly personalizable, and it's not dependent on a fixed mechanical relationship.
Okay.
Now, the question we get a lot of times is, what happens if the battery runs out?
And I was going to ask, because I've had multiple people say, hey, Jose, when you go there, what happens? Because like there's a lot of, online, there seems to be uncertainty.
Yes.
Tell me what happens when your bike runs out of battery and you still have to get home.
So the first thing that I would say is it's highly unlikely to happen.
Of course.
Because we have really, really strong like turn-by-turn navigation. So you're going to know before you get on that bike where you're going and if you have enough charge to get there. And because we know where you're going, the bike's going to help guide you in terms of making sure you have enough charge to get there and to get back.
And it takes into account altitude,
weight, altitude, conditions.
Amazing.
So much intelligence and telemetry coming off of the bike to inform that stuff.
Yeah.
That again, if I'm like, I'm going to go to work and back, I know exactly where I want to be. Now, that said, if I find myself in a situation where I've gone beyond that, you basically get into a 1-to-1 mode where the generation you're putting in with the pedal then goes directly to the wheel, and we call it turtle mode. It's effectively a forever mode. You're not going to get a lot of assist, and it's going to effectively feel like a standard bike, but you're going to be able to pedal it.
Okay.
The situation you're not going to find yourself in is my battery's dead.
I'm stuck.
I spin the pedals and it won't go in.
Okay, so that will not happen. Okay, good.
What will happen is you'll be able to get there. It'll be much more under your own power than in standard situation.
Yep.
But again, that's a highly avoidable outcome.
What happens in a scenario where, I forgot to plug my bike into charge?
Yep.
So it's been dead maybe days, weeks,
Yep.
maybe a month or two.
Yep.
Is it the same?
You mean if the battery is completely diminished when you start it?
Yeah.
Yeah, effectively it'd be the same.
Okay.
Again, you can fully charge this thing in about 2 hours.
Okay.
So because of
That's crazy, yeah.
Right. There's a lot of the questions that are coming in, like the great questions. Like, here's what would happen if that happened. Now let me tell you other reasons that wouldn't happen.
Right, exactly. It's like the because people immediately think of the worst scenarios,
yeah, totally.
But you have to account for that. Yeah. It may never happen.
Yeah, it may never happen.
But you have to account for it.
And again, the goal is, boy, if I run out of batteries, I still need to get home. Okay, here's how you would do that.
I mean, it's the same thing with an electric vehicle, right? If my Rivian, the software tells you everything you need to know, unless you're completely ignoring it, which then you're doing it wrong.
So let's look a little bit deeper here, right? So here's all. I mean, again, not final UI, but highly representative. You can customize what stats matter most to you.
Yeah.
One of the use cases I talk about here is, calories. Why would I care about calories? It's an e-bike. Well, let's say in the morning I want to pedal not at all on my way to work. I don't want to sweat at all. I want to use the throttle and a really high assist level. But on the way home, I want to burn 300 calories. Again, because it's software defined, I could say that same route where I burned 5 calories on the way to work, I now want to burn 300 on the way.
Right.
Okay. So if it's a hilly route, I'm going to get less assist. If it's a flat route, I'm going to get more resistance. But ultimately, I can have 2 radically different ride experiences on the exact same route.
Yeah, you don't want to sweat when you get to work, but after work, you want to get that working on.
And we talk about, we got a hill flattening mode that basically feels like I don't feel a hill when I'm going up. You can do the same thing.
The opposite.
You can say, I want to have a super hill road, right? We also think about you and I can go riding together. I can ride with another friend. We can have whatever experience we want.
Everybody rides differently.
Right, I'm going to ride a lot easier today. Right. You're going to ride a lot harder.
Sure.
But we're still going to ride together.
Question. It's kind of a software related thing, but you talk about measuring calories and all that. Will that information sync with your phone? So I use Apple Health a lot. Will that information be accounted for in there?
So we're working right now on which partners we'll sync data with, but we have an app that all that'll be aggregated within, and then things like Apple Health, things like Strava, we're having those conversations.
I was gonna say, ideally, right? If I want my calories counted, while I can do it manually, it's better when it's done automatically because I can obviously start a session on my Apple Watch, right? But direct data is even better.
And we'll announce a lot of that before we start delivering bikes.
Sure.
Again, because of all the connectivity that's inside of the bike,
it's all possible.
We also can roll out over-the-air updates all the time and plan to.
Right.
We're going to have thousands of riders telling us what they love, what they want to be different, what features. Hey, did you guys think of this? Because again, we can rep on those pretty quickly and roll them out. We're always going to be adding new features. And the way I talk about it is, you buy this and it gets better every day that you own it, versus a lot of other bikes just start.
Same as my Rivian.
Same as your Rivian.
Different from the day I bought it as today.
Same as your Rivian. Yep. So here you see your media controls. Over here, you've got play, pause, volume. Now we'll talk a little bit about the helmet.
Okay. I love the helmet.
One of the things we really heard from people is I'd love to ride my bike to work in the morning, but that's my podcast time.
Yep.
Or, I'm running late and I take a meeting. So we built a helmet that's got integrated audio and microphones.
I call it a Tron helmet. It's very Tron. I love it.
Very Tron.
Yeah.
It's also noise canceling. So
beautiful.
He's not in here right now, but one of the guys on our team constantly takes meetings on a prototype for it. You can ride in 25
noise cancellation, all that. Right. Fantastic.
But this experience with the navigation and the audio and the multimedia, I don't even take my phone out of my pocket.
That's the best.
My phone is a key. When I walk up, it unlocks the bike. It knows all my preferences, but it's not dependent on me having it out. It's not dependent on me pulling it out, trying to look.
That's just dangerous. It is also, it just adds another layer of.
So if you think about all these different functions, then you also get to, well, what happens in terms of security? This is an awesome bike. It's something I care a lot about. I paid good money for it. I want to make
someone else wants it.
Somebody else might want it too, right? Okay, so what happens? When I walk away, because it's linked to my app, it knows I'm walking away. When the bike is locked, and even if the bike is in its sleep state, what happens is The battery's locked.
Okay.
Can't be removed. There's pins that stop it from being locked. The top frame is locked.
Okay.
Can't be removed. Because the rear wheel is always fixed to the drivetrain at
Yep.
all times, you effectively have a cafe lock.
Okay.
So I can't roll the bike. The pedals, if I spin them, it's not going to go anywhere. If somebody bumps my bike, I get an alert on my app that says your bike is being tampered with.
It's like gear guard.
It's like if somebody picks this up and wants to take it somewhere, I get a breadcrumb trail. I know where my bike is. In a worst case scenario, if it's ended up somewhere else, I can break it.
What is this typically? So you talk about someone picking it up. I mean, I'm sure it's heavy.
Well, in this configuration, it's a little under 80 pounds, and that's pretty standard for this type of bike. One of the big advantages we have, though, if you want to like put it in a hitch rack or take it up a stair or two, you take these two pieces off, you've taken about 20 pounds off.
Wow. Okay.
So the ability to say like, I gotta lift it on this hitch rack, that's easier to do as I take that weight.
Got it.
But let's say somebody feels, real strong.
Yeah.
Because everything is proprietary to us in terms of like owning the software, owning the hardware, you can brick it. And it's like bricking that Apple phone.
Okay.
That means nobody can use it for anything until you say, I've got it back and I'm okay with it. It also means that we know where it is at all the time. So
that's awesome.
Chris kind of jokes like, I mean, yeah, you can take it and melt it down for the value of the metal, but that's a lot of work.
I don't foresee that happening.
I don't either.
Right.
That's a lot of work. Now, I think what will happen though is, again, back to the idea of replacing some of the car grips, feeling fundamentally safe and secure with the product is a big part of saying, I'm going to take it to the store.
Yep.
You don't go into a store and think, is my Rivian going to be used?
Right. No, definitely not.
It's just not the way, but it's how people think about bikes today.
Absolutely. Well, and I see the bike racks. I see especially like the e-bikes and the e-scooters. I'm like, oh, they're just sitting there.
Right.
Like, that's dangerous.
And with this type of a user experience and this type of security, you're not going to have that same experience. Jonathan, can I grab you for a quick software question? This is Jonathan. He's our
Jonathan.
CTO.
Jose, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Jose had a very technical software question that he knew he couldn't even bother to ask me, so I'm going to let him ask you.
Yeah. So I do a lot with Rivian software stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Right. And now I don't remember what question it was because I asked you 15 questions.
Is this the same software?
Oh yeah. Talk to me about like what does that look like? Obviously, there's a lot of relationship with Rivian here as well.
Yeah.
The software, Ben mentioned, not finalized. Looks great already, right? So a huge shout out for that. But like, what does that relationship with Rivian look like today in terms of how are they helping with this, if they are at all?
Yeah, it's a good question. So to launch the software platform for this product, there was a really deep collaboration with Rivian. And so the sort of like platform operating system that we're building upon comes from Rivian. There's a lot of shared Rivian DNA with what runs on the R1s, for example. We're now spun out. We are an independent company now, and we're kind of like charging ahead on our kind of tech platform development. So maybe there's not as much like direct day-to-day like sharing of code or engagement with the Rivian software team, but there's still a very like I'd say like kind of friendly and collaborative relationship there. And there are elements of what we're doing with ARM-based, very power efficient, very fast boot processor selection, and like the kind of
the boot up is so fast, it's crazy.
Oh, you showed
yeah.
There are elements there that we've been able to get established that may end up being leveraged in future Rivian platforms.
How cool is that?
So there's kind of like there are forms of like back and forth and collaboration and engagement.
Ideally, what needs to happen, here's an idea that I'm sure you've heard already a few times, is that I want to be able to take this mounted in my Rivian, so I can take it with me wherever I go if I'm going, trails hunting or whatever.
Yeah.
And it shows up in the UI. Right? It's like in my bed of my R1T there. Like when I plug in and it's charging, right, using the vehicle. Like it would just be really cool. Yeah. No different than how you see the tent that shows up when you're camping and all that. Because I just want to see more integration with that. How cool is that?
Yeah.
But like. That's really cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to talk about that. I know you're busy, but I'm really excited for this bike, and the software does really look good. I appreciate it. As a software developer, I love it.
No, thanks a lot.
Of course.
Great questions.
All right. Take care.
Very refined questions.
Of course. Have a good one, man.
Enjoy the rest of
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to give you just a little bit more, and then we'll get on the bike.
Yes.
Okay. So
we got a history lesson here.
Yeah. And I think when I started here a year ago, started talking to these guys a little more than a year ago, the bike looked like that, right? And to see where it's come in a really short amount of time is amazing. But this was really the first big question, which is what should the geometry be?
Okay.
What should the size of the wheels be? Where should the cockpit dynamics be? And when you nail that down, and again, you can see this is welded together.
Yeah.
You talk about that extruded set, like that's.
You see that very familiar, yeah.
Really saying, okay, 24-inch wheels and this geometry gives me an awesome mix of ability to maneuver at low speed, but also confidence to carve at high speed. And that's an important combination because you don't want to, there's a lot of bikes with smaller wheels that you don't feel as confident going fast. And then there's a lot of bikes that have big wheels. It's hard to maneuver in a parking lot and do those things. So it's kind of the sweet spot. This is the big one, though. And this team debated for a really long time. Boy, series hybrid as the propulsion system, you have to get it right.
Right.
If you don't get it right, everybody's got an experience of riding a bike. And we talk about the uncanny valley.
Yep.
Are you familiar with that framing or that phrasing? Uncanny.
Talk to me. Well, I know the framing or the phrasing, but like, what do you mean in this sense?
It's that idea in either like animation or humanoid robotics of if it looks really
slightly off,
it's like the creepiest thing you've ever seen. Like the Polar Express, that movie.
Right. Love the movie, but yeah, like you look at it too, you're like, Tom Hanks, you look a little odd.
So if you want to do something that's not mechanical and pedal defined, it has to be a perfect ride experience.
Right.
So this team spent a ton of time really debating, can we do it? And this was the prototype that said, yes, we can create an experience that is indistinguishable from a mechanical experience, but gives you all the flexibility and personalization of that software experience. And, for a lot of the folks that we let ride this before reveal, we didn't tell them that. And they wrote it and said, what'd you think of that? It was awesome. And then we said, there's no mechanical connection. It's a software experience. You gotta be kidding me.
That's crazy.
Playing with suspension. Again, suspension was a huge part of this. Really wanted to have confident front and rear suspension. So a mule that let us play with that. You can see very quickly you start
coming together.
Right, like automotive, we have A, B, C, A prototype. This looks a lot like the bike. Everything's
starting to come together,
20% bigger though, but you can see we're starting to play with it. Then you get to B prototypes, and you're mechanically, software, hardware, but also visually a lot closer. I mentioned the helmet. I'll hit the helmet really quickly.
Yeah.
Amazing integration of audio. You've got 2 speakers, or actually you've got 4 speakers here. They're wind shielded, so you can hear it when you're even at pace. You've got 2 down-firing microphones, so even if I'm riding really fast, noise canceling, wind canceling, you can hear me.
Oh, cool.
You've got a task light and a high lumen, high throw light. You've got rear lighting with a big signature so that it stands out from this typical kind of flashing small light. And then this is a clear panel that shows you what I'd say is the most important thing about this helmet. There's a helmet technology called MIPS today, and that's panels inside the helmet that if you fall and hit your head, they start to slide a little bit. And the sliding force dissipates the rotational force that causes concussions.
Okay.
RLS takes that technology. RLS is release layer system developed by a team at Oxford, and it puts that technology or puts that concept through a different technology on the outside of the helmet. So you see these polycarbonate balls.
Yep.
They're on a substrate adhesive. If this helmet hits, these balls release, and the coefficient of friction of rolling versus sliding is so much greater that release happens faster. Massive reduction in concussion risk and in torsional force and rotation. 2 helmets have been released right now with this technology. The first 2, ours will be one of the first, but 2 are out right now. Virginia Tech is the world leader in like concussion protection testing. The 2 helmets with RLS are the #1 and #2 helmets. So we're really eager here in the next few months to get the rating on our helmet. And we believe we'll go to market with one of the safest helmets.
And it's already available for pre-order on the website.
Yeah, $250.
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be more.
Yeah, and same as the bike, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is to get as many people replacing car miles as possible. The goal here is as many people connected and safe as possible. So we picked a price point that lets more people into the product.
Sure. Yeah. Love it. And this is kind of the final version.
No. These
are prototypes.
These are both very early kind of.
Okay.
This is a 3D printed version.
Love it. Love it.
To a degree you would like. And this is just a couple.
Cool.
Those are coming quick.
Now we get to the fun inside stuff.
Inside the guts, right? So, I talked about the lack of mechanical connection. The only connection between you pedaling and this motor is this board. You can see, I can show you this. This is the actual gravity cast.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it's light.
It's really light.
Super light.
It's really light. Really rigid though too. I talked about all the connection LTE. I talked about having like
So it does have LTE,
it's got LTE,
Wi-Fi,
it's got Wi-Fi,
Bluetooth,
it's got
obviously.
Bluetooth, it's got everything inside of this down tube. Get a sense of the see-through, see the units.
You guys, is there a version that will be like this? Because I want to see through version.
No, they're not right now. Maybe in the future. Everybody.
This reminds me of like the old the Game Boys.
Yeah,
that's why I love it.
And we call this one the Game Boy.
I love it. I love it.
But you can see the cells. These are the same exact cells that are in a Rivian, just a lot fewer of them.
Of course.
And then you can get a sense of, I mean, again, just like we wound these motors. We built the lab to do it. We have the machines.
I have a question on the battery. Yeah. Quick one is, you have this one now. Potentially in the future, could there be a scenario where better technology on batteries come out and you can release a new battery module that would potentially fit in there as long as it's within the same structure size?
Theoretically, I think that's certainly possible.
Yeah.
This is a really highly efficient and optimized battery. I think we have access to an incredible cell, the same cell that the
53G.
Yeah, and I think because it's a cell where it's been optimized to our software, we're getting more out of that cell.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, as technology improves, we'd certainly look at that. But right now, we feel like this is a really best in class.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, should we get out on the bike?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So, let's make sure you're in that ride position. All right. You can start pedaling, or you can use the throttle, and I will. I'll follow you here.
Have fun.
Thank you.
All right, Ben, we just finished writing the demo, which I included here. I think Ashley recorded some. But talk to me about these. These are adorable Amazon Prime quad TMQ.
TMQ. So that's the TMB.
Right.
The B for bike.
B for bike.
You are big codes right now. Q for quad.
Talk to me about this, because this is adorable. And I feel like, we briefly before we talked on camera, this could be very helpful, not only for Amazon, but like people who have golf carts.
Sure.
Talk to me about these.
So we started by developing this, and we call it, it's really like a commercial quad.
Yep.
Right? You can see it's got the ability to do the job of delivery, but to take advantage of being able to be pedal assisted, be in a bike lane, avoid traffic, not take up big parking spots, makes a ton of sense for dense urban cores.
Yep.
As we built it, everybody who saw it said, I want one for myself. So what's not pictured here is the consumer quad, which is basically this without a top. And you nailed it. I mean, you guys are in Florida. You see a lot of people who are using golf carts.
Yep.
They're saying, I want to avoid traffic, or I want to just run to the store, or I want my kid to be able to drive around the.
Well, we have a lot of towns that let you go like to the market or to like the little downtown areas, and we see that all the time.
Now, those are pretty expensive. Those can be like $25,000.
Right.
They're not supposed to go in bike lanes. You still have to have them licensed at the DMV.
Usually see them with a driver's plate.
Yeah,
a license plate.
For exactly that reason. I mean, they're regulated much more like an automotive.
Right.
This has a ton of advantages. I mean, the first is that it is a electrified versus gas powered.
Yep.
The second is that it's sort of pedal assisted, so it can exist in a bike lane and take advantage of bike infrastructure.
How cool!
But this is the same thing you just wrote.
Right.
In a really different form factor, right? So you see the same architecture,
same seats,
software, the same hardware,
same pedals, same buttons,
and effectively what we demonstrate here with the quad is like we've built a platform. And Rivian talks about their skateboard.
Yep.
Ours isn't a skateboard because it's got two wheels. Maybe it's more like an inline skate. But you can apply it to a lot of different form factors and use cases. And we're really excited, and we were thrilled to announce a partnership with Amazon.
Yep.
Because our goal is to, again, say, if we're going to replace short car trips with the TMB, we can replace a lot of other use cases with TMQ. And we're talking to partners around the globe about how do we create the right products for the right use cases for their environment.
We see already a lot of the Amazon delivery vans, the Rivian ones in our area. I love seeing them.
Those are awesome, yeah.
I can't wait to see these somehow incorporated in that economy, in the that scale, less scale. I think final delivery, stuff like that.
Mile.
Last mile, exactly.
And, you think about a big, awesome EDV, it makes a ton of sense in Seattle, where I am, in Florida, where you are. Might make a sense in a crowded New
Yep,
York,
yep.
right? So can something like this solve for crowded urban cores in a different way? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you think about Europe as well. Some cities are fully blocking cars and vans.
Right.
So how do you do logistics there?
And I know, you're not ready to announce pricing on this. But you said a golf cart can be about $25,000.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take the hint that this could potentially be less than that.
Yes.
And
I
we'll
will
leave it at
say
that.
With confidence, it will be less than that.
So that's really cool to hear, because I don't know what these, I don't know what they go for, right? I don't know what, what even is an equivalent other than a golf cart. I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, you see some, and again, if I were talking more about the consumer TMQ, you see some folks with really big cargo bikes.
Yes,
those
yes.
really big.
But it's not even the same.
Well, those can be $8,000 or $10,000.
Wow.
And so they're also kind of unwieldy. People aren't that confident on them. So we really think, again, there's a ton of advantages in vertical integration, not working with a lot of suppliers. We can offer a superior price point on these products as well. And, we talked about it a little bit when we were talking about the helmet. The goal of this is to say, how do we create a product that is attainable and provides a really high value to the price? That price point for the technology that's in it, as we had people ride it, they all kind of guessed, before we announced pricing and stuff. We had people ride it, then guess. And the average guess was, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
That's what I assumed those would be like 10 grand.
We had one person, a very experienced e-bike expert, guess $25,000,
wow.
which I love. So then when we told people, no, it's, $4,500 for performance, it's $3,500 for base. I think if you know the category, that's a shockingly great price.
And I think that's where it came from. Me not knowing the category in full transparency, I heard 4,500. I'm like, oh, that's pricey.
Yeah.
But then I had people tell me, actually, it's not.
Yeah.
And then they showed me examples of similar, not even as good.
Right.
And they're way, way more. I'm like, okay, well, now it seems affordable.
Right. And then you start to do the cross shop of a bike that can do this, a bike that can do this. Suddenly you're looking at $8,000 and $10,000 bikes.
Yeah.
There's still things that they can't do. So we're excited about that price, especially as more people get to do what you just did, which is actually ride the thing. So.
I think it's the same way I feel about Rivian. You got to get butts and seats.
100%.
And
butts on bikes.
Butts on bikes. I like that. And I think that's going to be the thing with not just this. I want to get my hands on one of these definitely and ride it someday. But definitely the bike, which is over there, and the really cool all the other bikes they have going on here.
One of our first demo events here this last weekend.
Yep.
We invited 500 folks who were reservation holders here in the Bay Area for 80 slots. People signed up. We sent the email at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. The spots were gone in an hour, hour and a half. But it was the first time that a lot of folks have gotten to ride this who haven't already been involved in it in some way, or who aren't experts in EVs like you are.
Sure.
People are psyched. I mean, these are folks who have already signaled that they're interested. They've either purchased or made a reservation. But the enthusiasm and the joy as they came off the bike was really awesome.
It solidified their decision, most likely.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, if you're a bike expert, all the things that this can do that other bikes can't. If you're not an expert, this is a really easy product to just get on and ride. And I think for folks kind of, again, high expertise, less expertise, there's just a joy when you ride it that is hard to tell you about. You got to feel it.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and walking through all of everything.
Pleasure. I love talking about it.
And definitely ridealso.com where you guys can go over, check out all their bikes, reserve one if you haven't already. And
we're going to be telling people in the next day or two, if you want to get one of the launch editions, now you got to go.
Now is the time.
The time is running out. So if you want to be one of the first people.
Yep. And when do those ship? Spring.
26. Those ones, the window is really about to close.
Yep.
For the performance edition of the base, you can reserve that.
And those will be out?
Yeah, the performance kind of mid 26, base a little later in 26. But if you want to be one of the first, that launch edition is the way.
If you want to show off and be one of the cool kids in your block.
You want to ride what you just rode.
Yes.
You want to launch it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ben. Appreciate your time.